It's a good time to be a brand that sells only SUVs. Jeep already had pretty solid coverage of the marketplace, but since Fiat Chrysler has all but given up on sedans, it's really up to Jeep to pull the weight. That's why we now have a new Compass, to give customers yet another choice if the Renegade's too small or the Cherokee's too big. It comes in 4 trim levels, and we have the most expensive one, the Trailhawk, but this review will also cover the other 3. So in a world where you can never have enough crossovers, let's see where the all-new Compass fits in. We are excited to announce that we will now be covering 4 new brands: Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, thanks to our new partnership with Chrysler of Lawrenceburg. To find out more information about their dealership and massive inventory of new FCA products, then check out their web address provided in the video description. While there technically was a really short 2017 model year, the Compass is basically all new for 2018, and that's how I'm going to refer to it throughout. Every Compass comes standard with Jeep's corporate key fob, which has a nice feeling in the hand. Remote start is also available in a package for most trims. All but the Sport have smart entry, so you can just grab the handle. Before we dig into the interior, the first thing we'll do is check out the powertrain. Under the hood, the new Compass is totally different from the outgoing model. Every trim will be powered by this 2.4-liter Tiger Shark 4-cylinder engine, which makes 180 horsepower and 175 pound-feet of torque. Power is put to the ground via the front wheels or all 4 wheels, optional on every trim except the Trailhawk where it is standard. But even though there is only one engine, there are 3 transmissions. Front-wheel drive models come with a 6-speed automatic, while 4-wheel drive models come with a 9-speed automatic. Additionally, Sport and Latitude trims come standard with a 6-speed manual transmission, and that can be paired with both 2 or 4-wheel drive. As such, that gives you 4 different fuel economy combinations, all rated at either 25 or 26 miles per gallon combined. The most efficient is the front-wheel drive manual, rated at 23 city, 32 highway, 26 combined. That's a real quick rundown of what's under the hood, so now let's move on to the exterior. Unlike the Renegade and Cherokee this sets between, the Compass adopts a more traditional Jeep look. Obviously, certain aspects of the design, like the signature 7-slot grille, stay the same between every trim. But the lower area is totally different on this Trailhawk. You can't tell on this model, but the upper grille is contrast black on all models. The headlights are halogens on every trim, but xenon HIDs are available through a package. And below that, you have a separated turn signal and fog lamps on all but the Sport. Of course, this being the trail-rated model, we have the greatest ground clearance of 8.5 inches, and also massive approach and departure angles of 30.3 and 33.6 degrees respectively. Even the standard trims are much better than the average competitor, with ground clearance of 8.2 inches. The Compass, like most cars, have different wheel designs for each trim level. The Sport starts all the way down at 16-inch steel wheels, moving up to 17-inch alloys on the Latitude, and then these 17-inch polished alloys with black painted pockets for the Trailhawk. The Limited's rims look similar, but just 18 inches instead. The brakes are 12-inch ventilated disc in the front, and 11-inch solid disc in the rear. The tires are all seasons on most trims, but we do have some off-road worthy tires on this Trailhawk. Coming up to the mirrors, they are power adjusting and heated on all trims. There is also available blind spot monitoring on all but the Sport. Backing up at the side here, you can start to see how the Compass kind of fits between classes. At 173 inches long, it is about 7 inches longer than the subcompact Renegade, and about 9 inches shorter than the compact Cherokee. This means you can really compare this to whatever you want to. But the closest thing I could find was the Subaru Crosstrek, which also has some measure of off-road capability. Moving on to safety ratings, the Compass is very safe, scoring the highest rating of good on every crash test. It is also rated superior in front crash prevention when equipped with the Advanced Safety and Lighting group. That package also includes lane keeping assist and auto high beams. But it is not a top safety pick for 2018 due to the stricter criteria regarding the headlights. The Compass has a fuel tank capacity of 13.5 gallons, which is good for a range of 338 miles for every model besides the front-wheel drive manual, which gets 351 miles. It does use regular unleaded fuel. Looking at the rear of the Compass, you can again see a lot of Grand Cherokee inspiration. This is definitely a more conservative look compared to the Renegade or Cherokee. The taillights also have a GC look. They are incandescent on all models, but you do get LEDs on the Limited with that lighting package. Down below, you do have a hidden exhaust outlet, except on the Limited where it's exposed. And in regards to towing, this small Jeep can handle up to 2,000 pounds with 4-wheel drive. With 2-wheel drive, it's not recommended. The Trailhawk includes one red tow hook in the back also. You do have a spoiler, and roof rails are standard on all models but the Sport. That's all there is to cover on the outside, so now let's get to the interior. At first glance inside, you can already tell that the old Compass's low-grade interior has been thoroughly vanquished. On our Trailhawk, we have the optional full leather bucket seats instead of leather trimmed, but black is still the only color option. On the Sport you have black or sandstone cloth, on the Latitude black or gray vinyl trim, and on the Limited black or gray perforated leather. The same high quality materials carry over to the door trim, where we have stitched leather on the armrest and above it. The upper part is also soft touch plastic. The front two windows are fully automatic, the back auto down. Most trims, including this Trailhawk, come standard with 6-way manual seats, but we have the 8-way power ones in the leather group. The perforated leather on this model feels very nice, but still durable. I also like the Trailhawk embroidering. Looking around the interior, it has a classy design with lots of cues taken from its siblings. Materials have also been greatly improved. The entire upper dash is all made from high-quality soft-touch plastic. All the lower areas are hard-touch, as expected, but everything fits together really well. Push-button start is standard across the board. On this higher-end model, we have the 8.4-inch UConnect screen, but lower trims get a smaller one. All compasses come with these analog gauges, but in the middle we have the optional 7-inch display. This contains a lot of info and has fancier graphics than the standard setup. Every compass comes standard with electric rack and pinion power steering, and Jeep nicely includes this leather-wrapped wheel on all but the Sport. This side of the wheel is for display, phone, and voice, and the other for cruise control. Adaptive is not available. The wheel itself is tilt and telescoping, with heating standard on the Limited. The Compass is a relatively narrow vehicle, so interior storage is closer to the subcompact side of things. The center console is small, but it's also pretty deep. In the front, you have your connections and a really small area below it. Every compass with the automatic comes with this shifter. Pressing to the left will give you manual control, but there are no paddles, because that's where Jeep puts the audio controls. Shifting into reverse brings up a large backup camera. Every trim gets dynamic guidelines, but the parking sensors must be added through the safety and security group. On four-wheel drive models, you have the Select Terrain controller in front of the shifter. Every model gets auto, snow, sand, and mud, but only the Trailhawk gets the rock setting. It's also the only one to get 4 low and hill descent control. On the other side of the shifter, we have a button to disable the start-stop system and one for the electronic parking brake. Moving on from that, the upper two trims come standard with dual-zone automatic climate control. All the controls are located down here and are well labeled. If you prefer, you have the additional option of adjusting through the display. I think having both options is really nice. This is also where you find the 2-stage heated seats if you have the cold weather group. Now let's listen to the standard 6-speaker audio system. Sound quality is actually very good. I had to double check that this was the base system. Now I want to quickly talk about the screen sizes. The base and Latitude models get a 5-inch or standard, with the option of adding a 7-inch screen. Trailhawk and Limited come standard with this 8.4-inch screen, but they still need to add optional navigation. Now let's take a quick look at UConnect. UConnect is a very simple system to understand, with nice shortcuts always present across the bottom. In audio, you can control the standard Bluetooth, and all the other sources are located along the side. Apps is basically where all the car's features live. The ones you're probably most concerned about are Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which comes standard on every Compass with the 7 or 8.4-inch screens. We also have the optional navigation, which works pretty nicely. Scrolling and zooming are very smooth. Lastly, there is the phone. There are a few things you can do, and all your contacts are automatically synced over from your smartphone. That's all I'm going to cover in this video, but we have a dedicated UConnect tutorial video that you can watch if you want to take a deeper dive. A link to that is in the description. Up top, there is an auto-dimming rearview mirror with a few buttons. And here's your interior lighting. We don't have it, but a dual panel moonroof is available on the Latitude and Up. So all in all, the cabin of the Compass is quite nice. A lot of the time smaller vehicles can feel cheap inside, but this feels every bit as nice as larger compact offerings. If you don't mind sacrificing a little space, this might be the way to go. Now Mason will finish things off.
Material quality for the rear door trim is pretty nice. You've got padded leather on the elbow rest with red contrast stitching. The rear window is auto down. Legroom comes in at 38.3 inches and headroom at 38.5 inches, making it a bit bigger than the Subaru Crosstrek, but a few inches smaller than the more expensive Jeep Cherokee. The seats do have nice perforated leather, but they are a little on the firm side. In the middle, you have vents on all but the sport trim. And below that is a household outlet and a smart charging USB. The fold-down armrest is leather wrapped, and it has some cup holders built in. You have a nice assist grip and a light behind that. Space really isn't all that cramped behind Drew's seating position, and I even have space for my feet under the seat. Even with the seat all the way back, I have plenty of space. Overall, the Compass's rear seat is a nice place to ride along. The seats are harder than I would like, but Jeep makes up for it with nice features like the vents and charging ports. Now that we're outside, let's fold the 60-40 split seat backs. To do it, just grab this handle. Surprisingly, a power tailgate isn't standard on any trim of the Compass. Once you open it up, it'll give you 27.2 cubic feet behind the second row seats, and 59.8 cubic feet with them folded. That once again places it above the Crosstrek, and it's actually right on par with the Cherokee as well. You do have some lights back here, and to the left is a 12-volt power outlet on all trims. passenger seat is manually adjusting across all trims of the Compass. Materials in front of the passenger are quite nice, with lots of padded plastic. The glove box is dampened and illuminated. Jeep also gives you this little net to store some junk in. Well guys, we hope you enjoyed the first in-depth look at the all-new 2018 Jeep Compass Trailhawk. Stay watching for a quick overview of the pricing, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons below. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.